Hi, my name is Sandy McGorty and I'm the coordinator of the Transport and Mobility Forum, otherwise known as the TMF. The TMF is a representative group of organisations who have a common interest in sustainable and active travel, i.e. cycling and walking. If you want to know more about the structure of the TMF, how we got started, our different members and the transport landscape of the Cork area, check out our other video entitled A Means to Understand and Manage a Complex Transport Landscape. In this video, I will be discussing how the TMF works towards improving the quality of life for all Cork citizens through sustainable mobility with a spotlight on community-led initiatives. The TMF works across many different areas and improves the quality of life for its citizens from many different directions, influencing policy, supporting each of our members and their events and initiatives, through media coverage and awareness raising, and collaborating on different events and projects. We work a lot in the public consultation processes. We work towards engaging the communities in order to get involved in public consultation. We often arrange events, town hall type events, where we invite the public along in order to discuss a particular consultation that's open at that time. It could be a regional consultation, it could be a national policy review, or it could be something very local, you know, a street that's getting new transport infrastructure, bike lanes or bus stops. Oftentimes these policies can be quite complex, or the maps themselves of the different transport interventions can be difficult to interpret. So we feel the TMF, we have the expertise and the knowledge in order to extrapolate the information to the general public and really facilitate them to get involved so that they influence policy and design from the bottom up. During the COVID-19 crisis over the last year, we actually worked with other member organisations and other advocacy groups in the Cork area to campaign the City and the County Council to urgently implement temporary changes to the layout of our streets in order to reallocate road space in favour of walking and cycling to ensure that social distancing measures could be safely adhered to. This proved very successful, and now we are happy that our city has the highest number of pedestrianised streets in Ireland. Both the City and County Council have worked hard over the last year to install pop-up bike lanes and widen footpaths and make our streets safer. Every year we run an annual seminar on different topics. One 3 years ago was on healthy commuting options and the built environment. We also had a seminar focusing on female change makers. And this year we focused on transport and connectivity in a post-COVID Ireland. Another event that we run every year is called Parking Day. This is an international event that runs every September, where car park spaces are transformed for the day into pop-up parklets. We run this throughout the city and region, and it proves to be a very happy day where people can see how the road space can be used. Instead of car storage, they can actually be used for more community-led spaces. This actually led to the installation of Ireland's first semi-permanent parklet on Douglas Street in Cork City, called the People's Parklet. It was designed to be accessible by wheelchairs with a ramp. We also designed in 3 bike parking slots. This was installed on a street which is a very popular street for walkers and for cyclists, and yet it lacked public seating, it lacked bike parking, and it lacked greenery and planting. And so with the installation of this parklet, it provided so many things for the community and became incredibly popular. So popular, in fact, that the City Council have gone on to plan for 10 more of these parklets throughout the city. We also work every year during Bike Week with our partners, and one year we got funding to develop Cork's first cycle map. Another initiative which we're very proud of is Ireland's first e-bike dedicated promotion group. This was where we worked with our member organisations as well as outside organisations such as a credit union group, as well as e-bike retailer, to come together in order to promote e-bikes. Cork City and many towns around the region are very hilly, and so a regular push bike isn't always favourable in these areas. We feel that e-bikes are the way forward, especially in these areas, and we wanted to use everyday people who actually use e-bikes all the time in different settings, and these people are coming from all different backgrounds, different ages and abilities, and they're using their e-bike to travel in an active way, in a healthy way. So this campaign includes a website, social media accounts. We actually had many billboards up over a few weeks, and we were on the radio and had many events in order to promote e-bikes in the region. I'll now play a video clip of one of these local ambassadors, Orla Burke, who's also a key member of the Transport and Mobility Forum. She represents the Cork Pedestrian Network.
I'm Orla Burke and I'm a mum to 2 little girls, and I live in Cork city centre. I was pregnant on my second child, and I realised that I couldn't face into dragging 2 small children around the streets of Cork City. I needed to be able to get places, I needed to be able to do it efficiently, and I started to look online about bikes and carrying children, and that's when I discovered cargo bikes. My world had become this place where I had to think about how far I could get, pushing a buggy, dragging a child. With the cargo bike, I could go anywhere. I started to look at other places to go. So on a random day, I might choose to go to Passage West, or I might choose to go to Bishopstown. My city just became my playground again. The whole picnic comes to the playground in the bike. So we even have a picnic blanket, 4 chairs, a parasol, all of the food, everything, and 2 or 3 bags. There's none of this putting your bag on your back when you cycle anymore. It's all in the bike. You're more in touch with the world when you cycle a cargo bike. You can stop anywhere you want. Every day is an adventure for us with our e-bike.
I would like to emphasise the fact that TMF members have been running and initiating events for many years. And Sandy has already mentioned Bike Week, but just to say that this is one example. This is a nationally run project that is implemented locally by our municipalities. So in Cork, we have 2 local authorities, Cork City Council and Cork County Council. They come together with the Sports Partnership to lead this programme of events over a week in June. And all of the TMF members come together as well to support these events. So they are run in collaboration. And they range from lunchtime cycles to treasure hunts, to artistic competitions and to school cycles. And as you can see as well, we really like to involve a fun and engaging element, and we have a nice social event at the end of that as well. Another event that has been running since 2000 is the Rebel Pedal. And just for your information, we have nicknames, I suppose you call them, on all our counties in Ireland, and Cork is known as the Rebel County. So that's where the name came from, but it rhymes very well. And that has been running since 2000, initially to highlight Car Free Day, but later it became an action under European Mobility Week. And I suppose to highlight the importance of linking in with these EU programmes, European Mobility Week was very important, as already mentioned in our other video, a means to understand and manage complex transport landscape. We got funding from the SUMP programme for the Mix Your Mode event, and then that's where the origins of TMF came out of. So in linking in with the EU programmes is really vital for the formation of initiatives such as TMF. So the other thing to say about European mobility was a very narrowly defined concept in Ireland. And I think even when we had the name of Transport and Mobility Forum, we debated the issue of mobility a little bit. But fortunately now it is accepted here as the main, I suppose, terminology. And it's important to have common language, I think, across the EU as well on these initiatives. The other connections, we linked with Rose Power in the Southern Regional Assembly for the Match-Up programme, and we did some very successful events there in terms of a mobility cafe, and we were delighted to have our keynote speaker from Utrecht. And this is all about learning from innovators and best practice examples as well. So I suppose that is something else that we're very conscious of in the forum, is to learn from others and to take on good ideas. And you may be wondering who Rob is. Well, Rob is one of our local Olympians in Cork, and we did this great multimodal race. So it involves cycling, walking, using the bus services. And actually, where we ended in front of the library, it also coincided with a climate march. So it's about the connectivity as well that sometimes happens coincidentally through events such as this. I'd like to talk as well about the broader picture initiatives and how they are important. So Cork is a healthy city, and we attended the WHO International Healthy Cities Conference in Belfast. And I suppose as well, the fact that we have an island that's governed under 2 different jurisdictions as such, and that travel, it's so important that there's connectivity through travel. So I suppose that's just to highlight that can be a challenge in Ireland, but that we need to work together across the border with our neighbours in Northern Ireland to make sure that there is really good connectivity. So these events are important in that regard. And I suppose the reaching out across the globe has really accelerated with the COVID situation. Last year for the Mobility Week, we showed the film Motherload, which is really inspiring. And I know it has been showed across Europe as well by a few people, but it just shows that whole broader perspective. And the globe is narrowing in terms of us all being online, but it's a really positive thing as well. I wanted to highlight as well, we have many county groups, such as the Clonakilty bike scheme, and they have a brilliant Clonakilty Bike Festival as well every year. But there are many others. There is Bike Friendly Band, and with the county groups, what TMF offers is a lot of support. We help them with walkability and cycling audits. We also support submissions going in on local plans. So that's a really important link as well with local communities. And I suppose the last thing that I want to say is that obviously our vision for improving quality of life for all citizens through sustainable mobility is to move away from these pictures of congestion on our streets to the ones on the right, which is about really using the public realm in a really much more sociable, friendly way. Also using the public realm for getting together, for socialising and building the social cohesion that we really need through the challenges. I suppose what we do in the Transport and Mobility Forum is also to deliver quality of life around the aims of the Sustainable Development Goals. And the ones that we feel are most relevant to us are good health and well-being, sustainable cities and communities, climate action, and especially partnership for the goals. So I think the TMF is a really good example of partnership for the goals in the way that we collaborate. We are small in human resources, but however, the Healthy Ireland funding, and I think it's interesting because it ties in with Goal 3, Healthy Ireland is where we got funding for our first part-time coordinator, and it really made a huge difference to an organisation that was really being run on a shoestring before that. So again, we were able to amplify our work through all of our partners on the forum. And just to finish, because our Mary Robinson, who was our ex-president, was at the Climate Summit yesterday. And she said, you need to imagine the future that we all need to rush towards. And I think that's really true. And I think a lot of what we've been doing over the years is sharing that view and imagination of what quality of life can be so much better with a very good sustainable mobility landscape in Ireland. So just to reiterate again, our partners, these are all of our partners, and the cross-sectoral link between the private sector, the community and voluntary sector, the public sector, and smaller groups such as the Cork Community Bikes is really important for us. I'd like to thank you for listening, and if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at tmfcork@gmail.com, or you can check out more information on www.transportandmobilityforum.com. car.com. So thank you again, and I would like to just lastly reference you again to our other video, which is a means to understand and manage a complex transport landscape. Thank you.